Well, thanks for having us, Chris, and the team over at Codesys, a valued partner of OPTO22. We appreciate the opportunity to share a little bit of information today on both our products and great customer application. So my name is Dan White. As Chris said, I've been asked to kick off the session with a quick overview of OPTO22 and the Codesys-enabled products that Paul and I will be demonstrating. So I'll quickly run through the basics here and provide some context for what's to come. Then I'll show you just how easy it is to enable Codesys on a Groov Rio. And I just want to also thank Paul for being here today, and thanks for sharing your experiences as one of the earliest adopters of using Codesys on the Groov Rio that you guys purchased earlier this year. And for those of you on the call who are new to OPTO22, there I am. We're a privately owned company out in California, an industrial manufacturer of automation hardware, and we develop the software as well that resides within that software. We have nearly 5 decades of experience with an installed base in the millions at thousands of customers all over the world, and we're known for making highly reliable USA-made products backed by lifetime warranties on all of our solid-state I/O. We're also partnering with leading automation companies like Codesys to provide unparalleled choices and capabilities compared to other PLC offerings available on the market today. Sorry there, I missed this. Now, our products are made here in the USA, available globally through our network of authorized distributors, trusted by end users, OEMs, and system integrators worldwide. Now, we've also led pioneering innovations in the industrial automation space, starting back in the 1980s with modular I/O for PC-based automation systems. In the 90s, we collaborated with 4 other companies, plus Microsoft, to create the OPC Foundation and co-developed the first draft specification of OPC back in 1996. Now, today our focus is on edge programmable industrial controllers and edge I/O devices, which we will be discussing in more detail throughout this presentation. Here's a drone shot of our factory. I believe that's where Garrick is right now. And we're out in Temecula, California. It's about an hour north of San Diego. This is where we design, build, and support everything that we make at OPTO22. And as far as industries that we serve, you can see it's broad, from manufacturing to process control to building automation, utilities like water and wastewater, and of course, OEM equipment as well. So let's jump in with a quick overview of our Groov family of products. First, here we've got the Groov Epic, a real-time edge programmable industrial controller. Yes, it does run Codesys on board, along with myriad other software to enable all kinds of applications. But second, and what we're really going to highlight today on this during the tech talk, is the Groov Rio. Groov Rio is what we call I/O for IIoT. So prior to now, Rio served mainly as remote I/O for your Codesys applications. But with our latest 3.5 firmware release, your Codesys engine can run directly on this device as well. So in this presentation, we'll be focusing on Groov Rio, how it's configured, how it can act as a PLC engine running the Codesys runtime, and how all of that adds up to one of the most versatile, compact, and cost-effective edge devices on the market today. We also provide ample support from application engineering assistance to post-sales product support, all at no extra charge. There are many ways to contact us, including live chat on our website, manned by application engineers, just like Garrick, who's on the call today. Those guys are there to answer any of your questions on how you can get started. We also provide free online training, including content on using Codesys on Epic or Rio. And you can find all that right on our OPTO22 training website. There's all kinds of great training modules here to choose from. And here you can zone in specifically on the Codesys modules, which get you started running Codesys on your Epic and apply as well to the Groov Rio as well. And that's all. That training is all free right on our website. In addition to this, we've got our OPTO Partner Program. This is where you can find system integrators of all types that serve all types of industries who can provide assistance on implementing your application with Groov products and Codesys. And if you're a system integrator out there and you'd like to learn more about our OPTO Partner Program, please go ahead and reach out. You see the email address here, OPTOpartner@OPTO22.com. With that, we're going to jump into the Groov Rio and dig a little deeper. So it all starts with the hardware. We're going to start here with a little tour of Groov Rio's hardware features. In a phrase, Groov Rio is an edge-based remote Ethernet I/O module designed for IIoT and automation applications. And now with Codesys on board, Rio is capable of running complex PLC tasks as well. So there are 3 different versions of the Groov Rio. And yes, all of them will run Codesys. And that includes any Rio that has ever been sold. So if you're out there and you've already got a Groov Rio and it's running an older firmware version, just go ahead and get that updated to firmware 3.5 and you'll have the Codesys runtime capabilities there as well. You can see here on my Groov Rio, all you have to do is come onto your Groov Manage page, hit your controller, and make sure that the Codesys runtime is enabled here, which you can see mine currently is. So what are these 3 different Rios? Well, you have the MM1 here. That's our initial product offering. The MM2, same IO layout as the MM1, but it adds a little bit more memory, some more RAM, and some more hard disk space so that we could pre-install a SCADA software Ignition Edge on board. Now we've also got the Rio EMU, the EMU, which is capable of monitoring up to 600 volt AC, 3-phase voltage and current to provide power data and not just voltage and current, but calculated values like true power, reactive power, apparent power, power factor, frequency measurement, net energy, and more. And yes, they all run Codesys, like I said. And we'll keep going here. So while we're talking about the IO specifically on Rio, this is really the true differentiator with this device. Unlike any other IO module on the market, the software configurability options on Rio are quite amazing. So the energy monitoring module that I mentioned, that one is sort of specifically purpose-built for voltage and current transformer inputs. But the MM1 and the MM2 have 8 channels of mixed multifunction IO plus 2 electromechanical relays. And here on this slide, you can actually see an illustration of how the various types of IO points map up on the Rio. Or even better, come to our website and go to the Groov Rio Explorer I've also included a shot here of the Groov Epic configurator tool. This is where you can come in and really make sure that the Rio's IO layout can match with your project's configuration. I've gone and pulled up the Groov Rio Explorer here as well to kind of give you a little bit of a deeper dive on how all the IO works here. So as I click through each individual channel on this Groov Rio device, highlighted on the right side here are all the IO types compatible with that point. And you'll see as I go down the list that changes. Perhaps I want to find, where can I do 4 to 20 milliamp current input? Well, there I go on the first 4 channels. Maybe I want to put a few of those there. Perhaps I want to measure temperature with ICTDs. I can place a few here. So this tool allows you to go ahead and determine if the Rio and the IO layout on the Rio is going to be right for your application. Now, we call it the Explorer because you're just exploring the capabilities of this one device. There's no extra part numbers or ordering configuration. You just buy the Groov Rio as it is, and then you go into the software and you can go ahead and configure the IO there. Now on to installation. So Groov Rio is built to industrial standards, and it's designed for long-lasting, reliable operation in almost any environment. We're providing 2 mounting options, both DIN rail and panel mount, your choice, both built in, no extra parts required. And with a wide operating temperature range, plus Class 1 Div 2 hazardous locations approval and ATEX compliance for oil and gas, you can really place your Groov Rio just about anywhere. Now that we're set on signal types, let's talk about power options. We've got 2 on Rio. Standard line power with a wide range 10 to 32 volt DC input. And then something we're really excited about, power over Ethernet. So now with a single cable, a PoE cable, we can go ahead and provide both power and communications to the Rio. And what's more, we'll even power the IO from some of these power options. So if you've got 4 to 20 milliamp loops, the Groov Rio and the PoE power will even power your 4 to 20 milliamp excitation power, as well as voltage for self-wetting dry contact inputs for any of the first 8 channels. So when we talk about time, reducing installation time, reducing costs, imagine just a simple dry contact, a pump motor, combined with PoE powered Rio, and you're already on your way to capturing data that you can integrate directly with your predictive analytics software, as just one example. Here's a simple system architecture that illustrates the path of data. At the bottom, we've got our various IO signals and devices connected up to the Rio's terminal connector. There you can see your pumps, your motors, temperature probes, and so on. Then here we've got the embedded software embedded on Rio that can securely push data to on-premise applications like databases, MQTT servers, OPC servers, or cloud-based SCADA platforms like Ignition or other widely used cloud platforms like AWS and Snowflake. We've got tools for everything in there. Now, before our latest firmware release, we could do all this, and it was a widely accepted and favored product by our customers. But we were still missing that key component. The Rio was really used primarily for remote IO, for software applications that would be running on another piece of hardware, like a Groov Epic controller, or like a PC, or a server, or even a third-party PLC. But now with Codesys on the Rio, a whole new world of possibilities opens up. And with all of these tools for democratizing data and making sure we can get data where it's needed to the appropriate people, to the cloud, to the right software applications, you might be wondering, well, how do we maintain a secure system? Here you'll see a myriad of features integral in safeguarding the device and the data it handles against unauthorized access and potential cyber threats. You've got account management. By managing our accounts and permissions, we're ensuring that only authorized individuals have access to specific functionalities, and this will prevent unauthorized access and maintain the integrity and confidentiality of your data. We've got LDAP integration, That's your lightweight directory access protocol. That enables Groov Rio to connect to a centralized directory for user authentication that can be managed by your IT department, which simplifies user management and enhances the security, ensuring consistent application of security policies across your organization. On Rio, we've also got segmented networks. Now, the Epic product, the larger PLC, has two hardwired interfaces. On the Rio, we've only got one hardwired network interface card, but you can always segment by adding a Wi-Fi dongle and getting yourself Wi-Fi capability and segmenting those two networks. You've also got VPN capability built in, which we can segment networks as well with that. So, by dividing the network into its separate segments with each its own security policies, this will help isolate different parts of the network, limiting the spread of malicious activity and reducing attack vectors. With port redirection or conduits, we allow for the rerouting of communication requests from one IP address and one port number to another, which will allow secure managed connections even to third-party devices like PLCs that may not have the same security features as Rio. We've got our device firewall built in, maintaining security and acting as a barrier between the network, between the internal network and any untrusted networks. And, namely the internet, of course. We've got our TLS security management, so to ensure confidentiality and integrity during data transmission, preventing eavesdropping and tampering in on the data. I mentioned a little bit before about the VPN client, but this is how you'll make your secure connection to the Rio from anywhere in the world using OpenVPN software in the client's encrypted connection. That'll ensure that your data is being transmitted securely and free from interception. And then other tools like outbound communication, such as MQTT, we can use those to maintain an inbound firewall that's completely closed with no open ports, which can prevent your data leakage, preventing and making sure that your sensitive information is all transmitted securely where it needs to go. So find me another device with this level of cybersecurity built right in. Now we're going to talk a little bit about getting Codesys up on your Rio. So first thing you're going to want to do is make sure you've got a Groov Rio. Once you've got that, you can go to OPTO22.com or to one of our authorized resellers or distributors, and you'll want to get the Groov license CRE-Rio. Once you get that license, you'll come to our website and activate the license, and you're going to get your Codesys runtime key that you'll be able to apply to your Rio. And you'll, of course, want to make sure that you've got your Codesys runtime enabled here on your Groov Rio so that you are ready to go. So with that, I'm going to introduce Paul at Costa Farms. Paul, if you're out there, make sure your microphone is unmuted and hop in.
All right, hello everybody. Thank you for inviting me to this. It's a pleasure to be a part of this meeting.
Paul, we can't understand you.
You're a little quiet, Paul. Can you get closer to the microphone by any chance?
Yes, hold on. All right, can you guys hear me now?
Not really.
Sorry about that. Can you hear me now?
It's pretty quiet.
That's the reason why we do it live. Then it's a little bit
All right, what about now? I'm sorry about that.
Oh, right there. That's better.
perfect.
Sorry, like 3 different mics on this. All right, well, thank you everybody. It's a pleasure to be part of this meeting. So my name is
You can
Paul
switch
Rogers.
your camera on too.
Yes. Hello, so my name is Paul Rodrigues. I am part of Costa Farms. And here at Costa Farms, we grow, like you guys explained earlier, we basically grow plants, everything from a small plant that's like 1.5 inches all the way to something that's a really, really big one. At my particular farm, we specialize in smaller outdoor plants. So I don't know if you want to go to the next slide where I can talk about kind of our application and why we decided to use Codesys and the Groove system.
Yep. Here we go.
So here we were decided to go on Codesys because initially when we were using um, just Node Red, that was how we were trying to run a controls application, which wasn't um, a good way that I found out. So with our plants being small, going across a conveyor belt, that we were trying to just count how many plants were going across to track our efficiencies, to track our downtimes, and to just improve the overall efficiency of the team. So because the plants go by a conveyor so quickly, we had to go with Codesys instead. So with this recent update, we've installed a program that would essentially count the plant as it goes by. We had problems as well where, as you can imagine, plants are very inconsistent products. So some of them might have vines or leaves. So by using Codesys, I was able to take away those inconsistencies so that even if a vine goes by, it wouldn't count it. And this is essentially what our Codesys program would look like. We're connecting to Node Red to show this information to the end user, and it's all getting written to a SQL database.
And thanks for sharing that, Paul.